It had started off as a typical Friday evening, the kind where the air smelled like barbecue and the sky slowly turned shades of orange and pink. I had just gotten home from work, my hair a mess from the window I forgot to close on the drive home, my feet aching from a full shift at the front desk of the dental office. All I wanted was a hot shower and to melt into the couch with something sweet. Instead, I got a knock on the door. I opened it to find Connor standing there, tall, tan, and with his usual baseball cap twisted backward. My best friend Lizzie's older brother. He gave me a small grin, holding up a paper bag. Liz said you were craving tacos. I blinked. She did. She texted me. Said you had a rough week. I figured, why not? I didn't expect him, but I didn't mind either. Connor had always been easy to be around. He wasn't like most guys who made me feel like I needed to perform or entertain. Around him, I could just be. Still, I stepped back a little uncertainly, giving him space to walk in. My hair was still up in a claw clip, and I was wearing my oversized sweatshirt from college that had stains on the sleeve I kept forgetting to scrub. Did Liz say if she's coming too? I asked. Connor placed the bag on my kitchen counter and shook his head.
Nah.
She's at Derek's place for the weekend. Said you might want company. I laughed, only a little nervous. So she volunteered you. Basically, he grinned, pulling out the containers. Hope you're okay with carne asada. I was. And maybe it was the way the salsa was extra spicy, or the fact that he kept making dumb jokes while we ate sitting cross-legged on the living room floor, but I laughed harder than I had in days. The sun dipped low, and the soft hum of my ceiling fan was the only sound between us as the conversation slowed. I reached for a napkin, noticing a little smear of sauce on my wrist. Connor reached over before I could wipe it. Got it, he said softly, brushing it away with the edge of his thumb. It was innocent.
Kind.
But something about it made my stomach flip. I should clean up, I said quickly, gathering the wrappers, needing a break from the intensity of his eyes. I'll help. We moved in sync around the kitchen, and I hated how aware I was of him behind me as I rinsed out the plates. Every movement he made, every step he took closer, made my skin prickle. When he handed me the towel, his hand brushed mine, and I flinched. Not because I didn't want him close, but because I did. And that terrified me. Sorry, I muttered. For what? His voice was low. Steady. You okay? I looked up at him, searching for some excuse to change the subject. But before I could speak, the front door creaked open. I jumped. Hey. Sorry, forgot my charger. A voice called. I turned to see Jake, Connor's friend. And mine to an extent. He was often around when Lizzie hosted parties or game nights. He was easygoing, charming in a smooth, quiet way. Jake raised an eyebrow at the two of us standing in the kitchen. Well, this looks cozy. Connor stepped back just a bit, not in guilt, but in awareness. She had a rough week. Just brought tacos. Jake smirked, walking past us and grabbing the charger from the side table. Didn't know taco delivery came with long stares and blushing cheeks. I opened my mouth, trying to brush it off, but he was already looking directly at me. You good, Emma? I nodded.
Yeah.
Just tired. Jake lingered a second too long, then turned to Connor. You heading out or sticking around? Connor shrugged. I was just leaving. The air shifted again. Connor's expression hardened slightly, but he gave me a warm smile. Rest up, okay? Text me if you need anything. I nodded, feeling a sudden emptiness as he walked out the door. Jake stayed.
Of course he did.
He wandered into the kitchen, grabbing a soda from my fridge like he lived there. He popped it open and leaned on the counter. You like him? He asked. I looked at him, startled. Connor? Jake nodded, sipping slowly. He likes you. That's obvious. I shifted uncomfortably. He's my best friend's brother. And I'm your friend too, Jake said with a lazy shrug. But that never stopped anyone. I didn't know how to respond. Jake had always been a little flirtatious, but it had never gone anywhere. Maybe because he knew Lizzie would murder anyone who broke my heart. Or maybe because deep down he knew I wouldn't play games. Jake put his soda down and walked toward me. Can I ask you something? I swallowed.
Sure.
Do you like being taken care of? He said, voice lower now. Like when someone shows up for you, brings you food, wipes your wrist, looks at you like you matter. I felt my chest tighten. Why are you asking? Because I've watched you wait for someone to treat you like you're worth showing up for. I watched it too many times to stay quiet. He stepped closer, not quite touching me but close enough for his warmth to wrap around me. I took a step back instinctively, only to find the counter behind me. My hands gripped the edge. He looked at me, eyes searching. And I don't think you should settle for half feelings. Not when you deserve more. I'm not, I started, but I wasn't even sure what I was trying to say. Jake reached for my hand slowly, holding it gently. You think Connor is your answer, but maybe he's just the one behind you, the one that makes you feel safe. I want to be the one who pulls you forward, not who waits behind. My breath caught. Jake. He pulled me closer, but not in a way that felt rushed. More like an invitation. I looked at him, seeing not just the flirt, not just the guy who made jokes and knew how to make a room laugh, but someone who had quietly noticed me all along. Still, I wasn't ready. I don't know what I'm feeling. I'm not asking for anything, he said gently. Just remember that you don't have to choose someone just because they showed up first. He left then, just like Connor had. But this time, it wasn't the kind of leaving that felt empty. It was a pause, a breath, a door left cracked open. The next few days were a blur. I kept busy with work, avoiding both Jake and Connor's texts, not because I was angry, but because I didn't trust myself to respond without overthinking. Then Lizzie called. Why are both my brother and Jake acting weird? She said bluntly. I hesitated. I don't know. Maybe ask them. I did. They both gave me nothing. Which means it has to do with you. I sighed. It's complicated. It's not. Unless you make it that way. She was right. And I hated that she was. That night, I sat on my porch, watching the sky darken. My phone buzzed again.
Jake, still thinking about you.
I stared at the message, unsure how to feel. And then another buzz came in. Connor, hope you're okay. I've been trying to give you space.
2 guys.
Both who cared in their own way. One steady and familiar, the other bold and unafraid to challenge me. I closed my phone and whispered to the night sky. What do I do now? The wind didn't answer, but I knew I couldn't keep running from them both. So I texted Lizzie. Can I come over? When I got there, both Jake and Connor were already there. Of course they were. Lizzie looked at me, gave a knowing nod, and walked into the kitchen to give us space. Jake stood first. Emma. But Connor cut in. Let her speak. I took a deep breath. I care about both of you, but I'm tired of feeling pulled between what's safe and what's intense. I don't want to be in the middle anymore. Jake nodded slowly. Then choose.